My name is Willow. I am 29 years old. I have been a divorcee for 3 years, and I am completely alone in this world. My parents died before I ever spoke my first word, and I grew up learning that life does not wait for anyone. When the job agency called me about taking care of a 68-year-old heart patient named Henry Clark, I agreed immediately. I did not agree because I wanted to help. I agreed because I needed the job. I expected another silent house filled with medication, loneliness, and waiting for death. But when I walked into his room for the first time, I stopped in complete shock. Henry was sitting upright in bed with a laptop resting on his knees. He was playing a loud video game and hitting the keyboard like an excited teenager. He was laughing and shouting at the screen with a level of energy I was not prepared for. He looked directly at me with a wide grin and said, "So, you're Willow. You look like someone who has forgotten how to smile." I did not know how to respond. I stood there frozen because no one had spoken to me like that in years. From that first day, everything about him changed the atmosphere of that house. He brought warmth into every morning, and his laughter filled every room. He told me stories about his youth, how he was rebellious, wild, and constantly in trouble. He said he built everything in his life from nothing, and he believed that pain was not the end of life, but the beginning of strength. He noticed things that most people ignored. He saw how tense my shoulders always were. He saw how I flinched whenever someone raised their voice. One evening, he said to me, "You are terrified of kindness. Someone taught you that softness is dangerous." I could not answer him. I simply looked away. We grew close without planning to. We would drink tea late at night while listening to the rain. We played cards at the kitchen table. He would place his hand gently over mine when anxiety made my breathing uneven. It was simply two human beings learning how to exist without breaking. One afternoon, while we were walking slowly through the garden, he stopped and held onto my arm. His breathing was uneven, and there was a seriousness in his eyes that frightened me. "Willow," he said quietly, "I do not know how much time I have left. I want to spend the rest of it choosing happiness, not waiting for the end." Then, with stubborn determination, he went down on one knee. "I want to marry you," he said, "not because of love, and not because I expect anything from you. I want to give you a stable life. I want you to have a home and a family. Let me help you for once in your life. Let someone help you." I stood there speechless. No one had ever offered me anything without expecting pain in return. Before fear could stop me, I whispered yes. The wedding was loud, colorful, and full of people. I begged him for something small, but he laughed and said, "Let people talk. They always talk anyway." His children flew in from abroad. I braced myself for anger and hatred, but instead they hugged him and laughed. His daughter said, "Dad, you're insane, but we love you." And she hugged me warmly. His son called me his new stepmom, and we all laughed until tears rolled down our faces. For the first time, I experienced what a real family sounded like. The following 3 years were the best years of my life. We traveled, we celebrated birthdays, we fought over board games, we cooked together, we talked for hours about life, regret, and hope. He never treated me like a broken person. He treated me like someone alive. Then, one quiet morning, I went into our bedroom and found him laying peacefully on his side. He looked like he was sleeping, but he was gone. He passed away in the calmest silence I had ever seen. I sat beside him for hours, holding his hand. I could not cry at first. The pain was too big for tears. At the funeral, his children held onto me tightly and said, "We are still family. You are not alone." And for the first time in my life, I believed those words. Now I sit in the house he once filled with laughter. It is quiet again, but it is not empty. My life was never kind to me, not until Henry. For a brief moment in time, I lived a life I never believed I deserved. And I will carry that with me forever.